definitely going to be a favourite.
Right then, here we come. Ready for the lights. They are in sync with the ones on there with 5 lights. And away we go. It looks like a pretty poor camera angle, but there's Turkeys has had a brilliant start. So has Pizza Boy actually going around the outside, and Boris is being swamped by Kemba as well. Kemba's had a cracking start. Boris down 2 positions already from the start, but Xbox Nuthead also having a battle with Boris at this point as well. And it looks like Boris is struggling to maintain anything and trying his best to keep ahead of the Season 9 champion in Xbox Nuthead, and it looks like he has just about kept up into that position. Binary and Lightshock just behind as well, fighting their way through and trying to keep the positions, Binary trying to overtake Lightshock in that position. Anything down below I need to worry about, as Pizza Boy and Kemba now. Pizza Boy and Kemba going side by side, and Kemba's now up into keeping P3 from the McLaren. Right then.
Yeah, a lot of
anything below?
switching plays, to be fair. I think the main talk point will be, I don't know what's happened to Astro. He's not on the grid, is he? I think he's bugged out or something, because I was wondering why he's dropped down, but his car's invisible, so I think he is no longer in the race. However, going forward, obviously Boris, not the great start from him. However, Kemba doing the complete opposite and going up 2 places into third, and he's going to be sitting on the back of Nutters now. Nuthead is going to be closing in on Boris, and obviously because of that gap between him and Binary, it's only about 5 points, I believe. And with Binary currently sitting in 9th, and had that little bit of a battle with Lightshot, nothing too crazy to go from there, that this is the place that Nuthead needs to sit, and if he can get past Boris now, then that's going to be a good sign for the rest. I mean, he's seen that Boris has struggled, so that will probably be in his mind, and maybe think about going for a move he wouldn't rather. But to be fair, saying that, Boris is now closing back up to Pizza Boy, but this will help out Nuthead either way, as in just looking down again. Lightshot slowly closing in, but along with Nils, a bit of a surprising one, because he has actually been on the podium this season, but the rest of his results have all been very mediocre, just 1 point or 2 point here and there. So he's a bit of a strange one, to be fair, so definitely one to keep an eye out for, as Pizza Boy and Boris have. There was a little bit of a contact there, and Boris, I think potentially, is he missing a bit of a front wing then, but Nuthead has managed to get that position nice and easy. Not how he would have wanted to make the move done, but he has managed to. Now this will, Boris is going to have to keep an eye behind him due to seeing for Chris and Lightshock as well.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off with the contact bit, but there was Niels is. It looks more likely that Niels is going to attack Binary than Binary is to attack Lightshock right now. But Xbox Nuthead up to P5 and doing his best to get back into the speed of things. But Nutters and Kemba not shying away from the championship leader or the reigning champion, whichever one you want to call him at the moment. They're trying their best to keep up with him.
Yeah, Boris again just coming out of turn 2 there, a little bit of a tweak on the rear of that car, which he's going to have to maintain, because when you're only on lap 3 and something like that's happening, it's only a matter of time until you end up dropping it. And again, just running wide there into turn 5, so he's definitely not as smooth as he would like. Because there we go, into the wall for him, and that is him out of the session. Just as I was saying about it, into turn 7, he just loses the back end and just clips that wall, and the wheels come off. It wasn't that hard of a touch, to be fair. We have got a virtual safety car, which is probably better than a safety car, even though the whole actual grid is pretty much within a second of each other, and obviously DRS is enabled now. We should point that one out. But yeah, Boris quite unlucky there, because it wasn't too hard of a hit with the wall, but it was enough just to take that wheel off. So a little bit of commentator's curse, but overall it's gonna, as the virtual safety car is over, so we should say now, as Binary, Nils and WRS Cam with a nice little battle for 8th here. Obviously Binary currently sitting in 8th due to Boris's retirement, as Cam is now trying to get the move on Nils, but I don't think Nils is going to say, oh, that was close. Luckily Nils did back out of that one, otherwise that could have been bad. But due to the final corner and where the Nils did have to back out, he's not going to have the speed to try and fight back to Cam at this current stage. But a few little battles going on, which is what we like to see. Still early doors, obviously.
Yeah, definitely still early doors. Nuthead is I just saw him take a much better line than Pizza Boy through turn 3. And you can see where the setup is lying for Xbox Nuthead over everyone else. Cam then on Binary looking like it's a possibility as well. There's too many battles to go through, and I'm not 100% sure which one to pick at each time. I will probably go to Kemba just because he's closed the gap to Nutters quite quickly, and looking very quick through there. I think just to quickly mention on the safety car restart, everyone did really well apart from around the outside, Kemba there, and I think I've lost Josh. He is connecting, unfortunately. That is a shame. Hopefully I can get him back in a second, and we'll just check WhatsApp in a moment and have a look in a second. Oh, there we go. So Josh is Swarm's God, it's died apparently. So Kemba, Nutters and Jolly still the opposite order than what I said in the front of the race at the moment. Turkeys has overtaken Niels at the moment, but I'm going to keep the battle for the lead because it's looking very tasty, because it is kind of a 5-way battle at the moment, and anything is possible. Kemba is looking more likely to make a move. Yeah, it looks like he's going to make the move over Nutters at the more than Nutters over Jolly. And you can see how close Kemba, the Williams driver, is all over the back of that Haas. And when do you ever see a Renault leading a Haas, leading a Williams, leading a McLaren as a top 4 of a race? There is no defence there. And oh, it's a mistake from Nutters, and he's somehow held it and it's let Kemba and the McLaren through, but wow, he has kept that from going off there. That is a crazy through turns 2 and 3, and it's given Jolly a little bit of a respite, and Nutters is falling down the order a little bit now. Let's have a look. Is there front wing damage at all? It just looks like his tyres are just overheated there, and there is a little bit of front wing damage on the front left, so he is struggling, and he's holding Binary up, who has received a 3-second time penalty through all this as well. Light Shock in a little bit of no man's land, and with this, Nutters is holding up. Xbox Nuthead, who... Oh, and Nutters is into the wall. What has happened there? Is that going to be a safety car? We'll have to wait and see. It's a virtual safety car, and it looks like it's just a little bit of a tap. But I don't want to say for certain. That's a crazy race. And Binary is in a position of, as everyone is now, just coming into the pits, which is crazy because yeah, come on, too many friends. Trying to get Swarm back into this is a lot harder. It's a lot easier said than done, unfortunately. There we go. And into the pit. So Turkeys didn't pit, Vapakoot didn't pit, Paul Pojany didn't pit, but Sinful Chris going on to a set of mediums. So Josh did have a problem with his Xbox, it just died, so I was trying to get things back through. Pizza Boy gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, and we are just waiting for Swarm to get back into
Hello.
the lobby. He is. Oh, he is here. Good. So Nutters has crashed. I'm not sure if you saw on the stream.
I did not.
Yeah.
Which is a surprising one, to be fair. There we go. I'm back in the action. Hopefully, I don't die again.
Fingers crossed. Maybe your Xbox could. Oh, is that Pizza Boy there has lost it through. I was looking on board, I think, with someone else, and Pizza Boy had lost it through. I can't say the same place as Ball Portiony lost it in the qualifying. So just after set 3 starts. It's the best way just for me to describe it. So Pred leads away from Vapid Coot and Ball Portiony. They have yet to pit, but they are doing the alternate strategy. So
yeah, that did throw me a bit because I just loaded up and it was like Turks and Pred in the lead. I'm like, what have I missed? I was like, what have I? And then I was like, oh no, everyone else has pitted. So for a little while I was like, what? You know, this change in position, but yeah, due to the pit stop, Jolly actually has just gone a little bit onto the curb, going into turn 9/turn 10. No, back in the action now, and yeah, I'm not too sure exactly what happened, but I'm going to ride on board with Nutted because he is on the back of Light Shock. Obviously, currently sitting in P9 as things stand.
Yeah, I'm just
Light Shock for the first time
looking
penalty, from what I'm aware.
So Binary and Pizza Boy both have time penalties as well. This is it's been.
Here we go. Actually, no, there's a few 3 seconds already. To be fair, it's weird how like penalties can make such a huge difference with races. You know, it is crazy to think. Sinful Chris, to be fair, setting the fastest lap there on the mediums.
So he's done the.
Well, he's going for a 2-stop. He must be.
Yeah.
So that could, I mean, if he's setting fastest laps repeatedly, then it could well work for him. However, he's definitely going to need to give it his all.
So just getting some inside information from Nutters. His DRS failed, and then he lost all grip, like all rear grip. So he hadn't like the game. The coding of the game had forced him with no grip at the end. That's crazy for something like this to happen. But having a look at how things have gone, I know you've missed some of it because of the
dying.
Xbox dying.
Pizza Boy is out.
As Pizza Boy's gone.
Again, not too sure
another
what's
DNS.
happened there. Just past turn 12, obviously I know, again, going past turn 12, if you do mess it up a little bit, you can, well, can end your race, and it has done there, as we've got a virtual safety car, again, no actual safety car so far.
So that's
3 down.
3 VSS. Yeah, there's 3 virtual safety cars we've had, when possibly could have had a safety car for each of them, to be honest. But because of the second safety car, Turkeys is actually, even though he didn't pit, he's actually jumped people who did pit under the safety car, which usually if you pit, and up the inside goes Light Shock, Nuthead, sorry, on Light Shock, but it's not able to. Turkeys is doing a fantastic job of holding up Light Shock and actually has pulled away a little bit from the Ferrari driver. But a lot of people pitted under that virtual safety car. But Turkeys didn't, and he was on a set of softs and then pitted afterwards and actually jumped people. So that's an interesting conundrum on that one,
isn't it? I mean, because how the race
is
going, it does feel like there could be a safety car. So the people who have stayed out, you know, like Pred and Ball Progeny, they could potentially be on for a good little strategy here.
Yeah, definitely. Jolly is closing in on the Ferrari of Ball Progeny and bringing Kemba and probably Simple Chris along for the ride as well. But you're looking at Pred probably pitting lap, maybe even as late as lap 20. Those hards can go a fair distance on this. So, but I've got a feel for Nutters. Definitely possible of a podium. Definitely have the pace for that, like he says in the chat. So,
and I'm just
running
other... on board with Nuthead still. Sorry to button a little bit, but Lightshot is not going to be liking this because he is in a Red Bull sandwich right now. He's got Turks in front of him, who he is slowly gaining on, but I mean, potentially you could have a little bit of team orders and Turks could be slowing down a little bit to back Lightshot into his teammate as Vapid and Bull Progeny having a little bit of a battle, and the Ferrari has gone in front, so now Jolly is going to be hunting down for his teammate as it stands.
Yeah, I definitely. I've been on board with constantly this board for P7 because it's quite an interesting one. But definitely Lightshock. Sorry, not Lightshock. Vapid and Bull Progeny. Interesting battle going on there. They're kind of losing ground to Pred ahead of him. He's pretty much 7 seconds ahead now. Yeah, it's interesting nonetheless, but I think the mediums are starting to die on Vapid's car, and I think he's hoping, well, he's definitely hoping for another safety car to give him a hand. Let's go back on board with the Red Bull sandwich and see how the start-finish straight pans out for Lightshock this time. He doesn't have, he does have DRS open, it's just the way it looks on the Ferrari into turn 1. He's just not quick enough down on the straights, is he?
No, he's not. He is lacking that little bit of power. I'm just actually just monitoring that time between Jolly and Vapid. Now 3.4. Bear in mind last lap, what, it was 5 point something, wasn't it, to Bull Progeny there? So these guys in front, obviously I know they're on a different strategy, but they're going to have to be keeping an eye out because obviously Kemba's not that far off Jolly as it stands. You know, there are a few gaps between, you know, Kemba and Chris and then Chris and Turks. We've got a lot of possibilities going on, and obviously with different strategies that makes things nice and interesting. But we do have behind Turks a nice little train now, all the way back to Nils in last. So it does show what a little bit of battling and a little bit of pushing can do. As Lightshot is now going to try and go for the move on Turks. Potentially he's going to go on the left side. It's an interesting line to take if we can get this moved on. Turks on the inside. A little bit of contact between the two, which has allowed Nuthead to close up even more because he did drop back, and now I think Nuthead's going to try and get involved and make this a little bit of a three-way battle. As Lightshot's lunged up the inside, he's overdone it massively, pushed out Turks, Lightshot's gone out wide, Nuthead's gone through, so has Cam, so has Binary, and now so has Nils. So all it took, as Turks has now decided to dive into the pits, I think he's got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is not what the Red Bull would want. I'm just saying he's got, having a front wing change as well, so getting it done nice and early.
Definitely, and it's just promoted. Well, I think it's just a little bit of frustration from Lightshock. He knew he was quicker, and he just was trying to find different ways to get overtake. But you can see how much quicker Xbox Nuthead is than the rest of the field behind, because he's already built a second gap to Cam behind. I know Nutters is eagerly wishing Cam's on. But I don't think he's got anything in the locker to well, A, defend from Binary, and B, to attack Nuthead, because Nuthead is just flying right now. Yeah,
he really is, to be fair. What was it, 1.2 just behind there? Now, 1 second actually between Jolly and Vapid. I'm going to take a wild guess and assume Vapid is going to let his teammate back through. Oh no, Vapid's diving in.
Binary up the inside and pushing Cam out.
There's something about that
interesting
corner, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, around that little, sector 3 in general, there's been a couple of little, well, a bit more than a couple of moves. As Vapid's now leaving the pits, and he could end up right in the middle of this little battle. Actually, I think he's going to just be behind it. Is he going to come out? Oh, Lightshot is pitting as well.
I think there's front wing damage.
Yeah,
to
I think
Ferrari.
he's got. Yeah, it is left side there.
Is that a set of mediums going on as well? There is a set of mediums. Let's go on board with the battle for P3, because Kemba is now closing Jolly up slightly. Hello, Mike, King Mikey or Mike Farquhar. I don't even know anymore what your PS4 player now. But it is I'm Wardaziri, as you know, hopefully by now. And we've got X-Swarm, who is also a member of the admin teams in the Combox this week. I hope you're doing well. It's been a long time, so hello. But yeah, so battle for P3 is heating up. Obviously, we've still not had pits yet from Bull Progeny or Pred.
Mr. Jack, you are a lucky boy. Sorry to butt in, but again, out of turn 12, someone just lost that back end a little bit, but he managed to control it, so fair play to him. But I think that is actually what happened to Pizza Boy. But again, sorry to butt in, but fair play. That was that could have ended quite badly. I think it does show what can happen when you push. He did pick up a 3-second time penalty as well just before the incident there, so he's going to be trying to give it all in that car and try and catch up. I mean, obviously with Chris pitting, he's got P5 at least, and then he's still got at least 10 seconds up the road there to Kemba and Jolly, but as it stands, he could be on for a podium finish here.
Could be. Binary obviously on a 3-second time penalty as well, so he's got that buffer behind. Kemba received a 3-second time penalty as well, so obviously that's going to be a little bit more difficult to close down. But Nuthead is catching Sinful Chris. I don't want to say at a rate of knots, but he's caught a second within a couple of laps on the harder compound tyre, so he's doing very well there. But Jolly and Kemba are all over the back of Progeny right now, and it'll be interesting to see how difficult it is to overtake a hard compound runner with older tyres.
Yeah, I mean the tyre's still going to have a big effect here. Obviously, we're going to see that between the two hard runners in second and third, but with the medium guys and the hard runners, obviously Turks and Likeshot now, due to the front ring change, they are quite far back, but they're on a fresh set of medium, so they're going to have to be charging down.
And Jolly's been pushed out wide.
As he has, so that has dropped the possession, and now Kemba's going to try and get past the Ferrari, and that Ferrari is not having it, and he has sort of pushed Kemba out, which Jolly's probably going to be liking, to be fair, for a little bit of payback.
Definitely, that's up the inside. He's forced his way up the inside of Bull Progeny there. Bull Progeny is definitely making life hard for these guys up at the front, and he's coming back at him. Bull Progeny up the inside. Oh, that's very close. Bull Progeny is not having
easy. Oh no, he's not
any of it.
No, he's going to try and come back at Kemba here. He's had to obviously let go a little bit. He doesn't have as much of the tyres in the release, but fair play to him. It's not sort of his race he's in, but he still wants to try and battle away. So yeah, fair play to him for that one.
Yeah, battling away, and it's given Kemba the advantage overall. Mike, yes, this is the top league in F1XL. F1 we call it now. But yeah, Jolly's not going to be happy with that at all, and it's going to be he's not going to have the same.
He doesn't have the space, to be fair.
No,
sorry. Yeah, again, he just in that little first DRS zone, he just doesn't have the speed to catch up to him. So it could be a matter of what setups, but yeah, it's an interesting one there, to be fair.
And they are falling. They're actually losing a bit of time to Pred because of this. And Jolly is going to be. Well, actually, this is going to hamper Jolly more than Kemba, because Jolly's then going to lose ground. And Kemba, I think, overall on a lap was about the same pace as Jolly, but had the DRS to help him catch back up with Kemba. So. Be interesting to see what the
Jolly's pushing him through
this.
there. Through turn 12, he's pushing him. He's going to want to just try and get past him, I think, because otherwise something bad could happen. He didn't start to go for the move. What I was just having a look at the times there and saying about Jack potentially sitting in a P3 spot, I actually think it's going to be Pred by the time he pits, because obviously he's got 11-second gap behind him, and then Chris has still got 7 seconds to Jolly. So I think it's going to be a battle between Pred and Nuthead for that P3 spot as he stands at the moment, as Jolly is now going to try and go for the move on that Ferrari. He's got the inside. He's managed to get the speed this time around, probably a lap, well, too late than he would want, and now he's got 2 seconds to try and make up to Kemba. I'm just going to have a quick look. Oh, so Kemba does have a pen, and Jolly's only got the 1 warning, so as long as Jolly can keep within that 3 seconds, but does he want to try and get it on track? I'm not too sure. As Nuthead and Sinful Chris with a little bit of a battle going on further down the field. Obviously, Chris will have to pit again. I'll be very, very surprised if he can take the tyres to the end. But, I mean, I've seen some weird stuff in F1XL, so you never know, to be fair. But, obviously, you know, Nuthead there has made some good time up. Binary is only 8 tenths behind, but again, he's on that medium tyre, so he will most likely have to pit. And I say most likely, it's more than doubt that they're going to have to. It's no matter what you've got on them tyres, you're going to have to pit.
I've seen Binary do crazier stunts, so it is possible. And if anyone's going to do it, it's probably going to be Sinful Chris or Binary in this league. But Nuthead, like Jolly, needs to get past these guys as quickly as possible. I say these guys, Sinful Chris, quickly as possible, because he just can't afford to have the dirty air causing issues. And into the pits does go Sinful Chris. So is he going to go on to another set? It must be another set of mediums. He's not going to take a set of softs to the end. Binary then continuing on. It'll be interesting to see how Sinful reacts to that. It is a set of mediums. So Rapid Coot's going to the end on the set of hard. So he's going to be. It's going to be interesting to see what the Renault guy can do at the end. Jolly is slowly catching back up Kemba in P3 as well. Do you think?
Yeah, just looking at actually. No, I think they'll be okay. To be perfectly honest with you, I mean, I'm just late with Kemba and Jolly. They're on 12 laps now, so they have to. No, I'm sure they'll be okay, because if you look at Pred, he's done 18 laps on them tyres. Obviously, he hasn't really been battling as much, but you know, it's they're in a similar sort of boat. But again, just the boring little things which make differences. Actually, we have got yellow flag sector 1 as Turks have spun it. Oh, sorry, my voice has gone in. Turn 4 to turn 5. He has just had a little bit of a spin, so that now puts him last completely. And there we go.
It's a shame for the Red Bull driver. Yeah, it's a shame for the Red Bull driver not having it easy. The Binary's going for a set of medium, and that's not going to help him in the championship overall, because that's going to give
5 second
Nuthead
as well.
That was close as well. I don't know if that was, but he's put on a set of softs. Interesting. That's going to be a very, very worn tyre come the end of the race. Let's have a look at. Let's go back on board with Jolly, because Jolly is slowly bringing in Kemba in front of him. It's about
what I was going to say,
2/10 a lap.
With the boring little stuff, with like ERS, for example, if you have a quick look, Jolly wasn't actually using any for the last lap, but he was still gaining on Kemba. Kemba, who's just chilling in, I think 2, which is medium. He's just been chilling in medium the whole time. He's only got, 17% here or not. He's not, playing around with it as much. But yeah, Jolly's just saving it up. He's up to 60%. But also, if you look at it this way, Jolly's not using any, but he's still gaining on Kemba. So it shows the pace he's got in that car. And then when he's going to use that ARS, which I'm guessing he's going to use it on the straight now. There we go. He's flicked it up to, get the speed on the straight. But with the corners and stuff, just saving it, it will mean when he is close enough to go for that move, he's going to have enough energy there to, use and get the move done potentially.
So out of all that, Sinful Chris was actually jumped by Binary in the pits. So unless I think Sinful Chris might have had a wing change in there as well, because there's no way he would have lost 5 seconds on an out lap to Binary's in lap. Not around here anyway. Vapid Coot is only a second behind Cam at the moment in P7 and 8 respectively. And Nuthead is slowly catching Progeny, 1.5 seconds at the moment, but nothing too much on it. Mike, you should watch week in, week out. I told you, you need to watch the stream week in, week out. Get those extra points that you get for things on Twitch. I don't even know what they are.
But they're like little emotes, aren't they? I think.
Yeah.
If I believe correctly, something like that. So I'm sure some of them are quite cool and quite fancy. As Pred is actually in the pit now. So the front runner, due to the strategy, has decided to dive in, and he is going on a set of softs. I think this is going to put him in quite a good little spot here.
It is. I'm going to go on board with Nuthead and see if it actually where he is out on track compared.
I think he's going to come up behind.
Only just though. Nuthead's. Niels is not going to be in front of that Mercedes, and Nuthead all of a sudden is going to have a Mercedes, and he's up the inside of turn 3 of Bull Progeny, and it's not happening at all. Binary gets the fastest lap of the race at the moment. Nuthead is starting, I don't want to say he's starting to panic, but yeah, that Ferrari has caused him a lot of problems these last
Yeah, you can see the Mercedes behind him now. That I think he knows that Pred is going to be a lot quicker than him, so he wants to try and create that cushion, and he's going to try and go for the move here on the outside. He's out broke, and he has made the move stick. Great move by the Red Bull there. However, that Mercedes has got the fresh tyres, and he's powered on through. Just like that. I think Nuthead knows that a podium finish as things stand aren't going to be on the cards unless something does happen further up the field. But look at that. Pred just storming through nice and easy.
There's no defence to that at all, was there? There's nothing that could defend that fresher, well, incredibly fresh tyres, as Binary picks up another penalty down in P9 at the moment. Bull Progeny finally pits as well. Nuthead will be pretty pissed off that he took that long to pit, to be honest. But obviously that is racing. Let's go on board with the leaders then.
Because I have a look at Jolly here
between them.
This could, in favour, help Pred. I mean, we just saw the sort of pace he was on there. We've got, 6-7 laps to go. The gap, it's only 10 seconds, the gap, which I know it seems like a lot, but if he's just storming that, look at it, it's just clocking down. And then when these guys start to battle, Pred could be in a good shot here, and obviously we know Kemba's got a penalty as well. I don't know, does Pred? No, Pred doesn't have a single, but he doesn't even have a warning. Nuthead does have a penalty, so does Nils. I think a lot of these guys do just have... Actually, Cam doesn't, so he could be in an alright spot as well, to be fair, but it's still quite a big gap there. Between twos, actually, we just had 2 lots of penalties coming at the bottom of the screen. Simple Chris with a 3 second, but I think Pred could be in a good little spot. He's just got to keep putting in these lap times and giving all that he can out of that car. But Jolly, yeah, saving up the ERS again. It's up to 70% saved, and Kemba, he's chilling on 20%. There's not much he can do with that car to give him some power soon, and obviously Jolly is in the DRS range as well.
I don't think Jolly's going to use too much of his ERS to overtake Kemba. He's going to save that to defend if he can get past. He might use a little bit to overtake, but he's going to want to use that as defence from the DRS of Kemba. But I don't think Pred is catching enough. He's done 1.3 seconds in a lap. So I don't think that's going to be enough to catch these two. But these two haven't started battling it out yet. So it could come down a little bit quick upon that point. I'm surprised Pred hasn't taken the fastest lap of the race yet.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was Binary, wasn't it, who did take it. And let's just have a look quickly at the fastest lap. So Pred's quickest is a 23.5 and Binary's was a 23.0. So from that point of view, he was still 5 tenths off, but You know, I'm just, I think Binary, nice. So yeah, he's quite free, isn't he, out there? No one really around him. Also, should point out that Ball Progeny did come out in ninth in the pit, so he is in the points as things stand. He's got Chris just behind him, but being on a fresh set of softs, you would assume that he would be able to escape. As Pred's got the gap down to 8 seconds now, so he's got to carry on sort of chipping away. Obviously, he needs to get within the 3-second window to Kemba. As we do have a yellow flag in sector 3, as Like Shock has just spun and hit the wall, and that again coming out of that turn 12. He's left the session.
Oh,
But the car, I mean, the car is still on track as it stands, but yeah, he has left the session. Which is, you know, a shame for him. He didn't look like he would be getting any points as things stood, and he definitely won't be now.
safety car.
Oh, it is a safety car. Well, well, well. This is going to be interesting for the last, what, 4 laps. And will anyone pit?
Do
Especially
Kemba and
these
Jolly
hard,
pit?
because it will put obviously Pred in the lead. Again, it's similar with, like, you know, Nutted, Niels, Cam, Vapid. Do you take the risk and put on? Because obviously, right now, Binary and Ball Progeny on the softs, they've got 4 hard runners in front of them.
And where we thought points was going to be, it's not. And into the
Kemba's
pits
in.
come Kemba
Jolly
and
isn't.
Jolly.
Jolly isn't.
Jolly's taken the gamble to say that he's going to be
Obviously,
quicker.
Pred has stayed out. What about Nutted?
So 3.
He's staying out as well. Niels is in.
When does a safety car come in though?
Well, that is true. You know, if it's out there for 3 laps or so, or another 2.
That's to the
Cam
end of the
has stayed
race,
out.
pretty
Vapid's
much.
in. So is Binary.
Mortal ends.
I mean, I guess a fresh set of
Interesting.
softs. Ball Progeny staying out. Sinful Chris is in. I mean, you know, Like Shot is probably going to be hitting himself here because, well, I suppose he sort of caused a safety car in a way, but yeah, even still. But I mean, Turks, it could give him a chance to potentially get some points in.
Interestingly,
carries on.
Light Shock's been disqualified from the session.
Well, that is different.
Definitely. Well, Jolly is going to have a massive fight on his hands when the race restarts. So is Nuthead. Kemba came out in P4 after all that. Cam didn't pit either. But if the safety car doesn't come in...
One. Well, if it waits for everyone to catch up, that means Turks needs to overlap these guys, which it hasn't given him the option to just yet. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting finish here. Obviously, a lot of these guys aren't close. Like Vapid's still 10 seconds away from the rest of them here. So we'll be going into lap 27. I mean, we could be getting underway on lap 27, going on to 28 from the looks of things. As Ball Progeny has just left the session as well.
It's likely to be 2 laps of racing, so if the safety car does come in, but it's either going to be 28 or 29. Well, the end of this lap or the end of 28. But Nuthead and Jolly and Cam are all going to have incredibly high tyre wear.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting little finish here. Because they, like, both Jolly and Nutter are going to have to defend like crazy. Obviously, from an ERS point of view, everyone's going to have 100% or saved up. Ball Progeny is back in, which is good to see, so he can hold on to that 6th spot and try and battle away.
Yeah,
and
all that hard work Jolly was doing to save that ERS as well.
I mean, Sinful Chris has now joined the party along with Binary. So that is everyone pretty much all caught up except the AI of Light Shot. So I don't know if the game will count that or not.
Well, we know.
Well. Safety car in this lap.
Safety car is in
There
this
we go.
lap. 2 laps then.
Of pure attacking and pure defending in some people's case.
Well, it's all about Jolly's restart at this point as to whether... Well, I think, unfortunately, Nuthead and Cam are sitting ducks. But it's all about the restart from Jolly to see whether he will still win this Grand Prix. And Progeny's unfortunately gone from the session again. That is really gutting for the Ferrari because he's sitting not quite nicely in P6. And at this point, could cause him issues to get back in time. Jolly then really slow around the second to last corner, but he's got away pretty quickly. But oh my goodness, look at Kemba all over the back of Xbox Nuthead as well. He's going to make the moves all before turn 1.
No, he's not.
But no, he doesn't.
He didn't have enough in it.
Yellow flag in sector 1 for some reason.
I think it was Turks. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think it was
Kemba's
Turks.
going around the outside. Oh my goodness, you could tell the difference in grip between the two of them. Kemba has dispatched Nuthead quite quickly, but Nuthead's still on for a P4 here. Progeny's back in, just probably in time as well to hold off up above. But it's got to go with the battle of the leaders because Fred is all over the back of Jolly. Jolly's got so much defending to do.
He's got a lap and a half to go.
Point, yeah, this is mental. At this point, I think you would just throw your ERS on how high and just hope for the best. Pred then looking like he's going up the inside of turn 12. Just not got enough.
Parked it well. Obviously, Kemba's going to be closing in on Pred here to try and get that move, which, I mean, it could help out Nuthead in theory because he's not that far away still from these guys.
And here comes Pred. As again, oh my goodness, I just don't know if there's going to be enough to this.
Fred's we are on the final lap, ladies and gentlemen. Jolly's holding off into turn 1. Nils and Vapid battling away further down, 2 of the soft runners. Nils up into 6, Sinful Chris and Binary as well, switching positions, but going to have to keep an eye on the front here because I feel like it's either going to be Pred first or Kemba's going to get past Pred, but obviously either way Kemba does have the penalty to serve. That's one thing we didn't think about because I think it was Cam who doesn't actually have a penalty, so he could be promoted here potentially into a podium position.
And here comes Pred though. Oh
no,
he
hasn't managed to just yet. Oh, but Jolly's got a bad exit there and he's going to have to try, and I don't think he's going to have enough. But going into turn 11, he's just not going to have anything left as, Jolly did have to back away there from Pred. And Pred does currently lead the Australian Grand Prix with only 1 sector to go. I don't think Jolly's going to have enough to be able to bring it back.
There's not going to be enough.
Being on the hard tyres. I think it is looking like that Mercedes, after doing a mixed strategy and starting from pretty much at the back, due to a nice little safety car in his favour, he's coming around the final corner now. And he is going to grab the whole 25 points here for the Australian Grand Prix. And he has crossed the line. Jolly second, Kemba third, Nuthead fourth. However, with Cam's jumped up to fourth. So Nuthead fifth. I mean, everyone's just crossed the line there in such short. We have a look at the overall table now to see due to all the penalties which have come in.
Well, Pred will be very, very happy with that result. That safety car at the end definitely helped him to no end. No words really to describe how that end really. Hectic is definitely one word you might be able to just about sum up that last few laps. It's definitely a race of what could have been for the likes of Lightshock and Boris Letterbox as well, losing out early on. and Nutters as well for such a strong performance to die like he did. That sounds really harsh. To crash out like he did. But it is Pred that takes victory with no penalties to his name. Only one of 4 drivers, and one of the others is Jolly, who finished P2. P3 then was Cam with a penalty, but he survived thanks to Nuthead not having a penalty. For Nuthead having a penalty, Cam then finished P4 for not having a penalty. Vapicoot finished P6. P7 was Bull Progeny. P8 was Niels 998. P9 was Sinful Chris, and Binary managed to finish P10. So Lightshock Turkeys, Pizza Boy, Nutters, and Boris Letterbox are all DNFs technically, in a sense, apart from Turkeys maybe. But a brilliant win for Pred there. But crazy nonetheless, wasn't it?
Yeah, that really was an interesting finish again. There's a bit of a theme, isn't it, Gareth? You know, USA are now here, but last few safety cars definitely threw this on edge, to be fair, and has livened things up.
Definitely. Whenever you seem to join us join me in the combox, something had something interesting happens. Last time, like you say, America was the last corner freeway between Binary, Lightshock and Nuthead, and now we've had that safety car at the end. It was absolutely crazy. Highlight of your race?
Probably the safety car, to be fair. Them last few laps there, yeah, definitely. Made things interesting and spiced things up, to say the least.
Definitely, indeed. Driver of the day?
You have to give it to Pred, really, due to just the strategy. Obviously, like I said, a little bit lucky, but you can't take away still. Even if let's say there wasn't a safety car, he still most likely would have been on the podium, whether it was third or higher. So I think it's got to go to him, to be fair.
Fair enough. I think it'll be hard done by not to give him the driver of the day, to be honest. But I'll be a big shout out to Jolly. Of the 3 drivers that tried the hards till the end, they had a fantastic. They did as best they could. Let's say. Any final words for the guys out there before we finish the show? From you, Josh?
No, just again, pleasure as always. Who knows when I'll be back? Obviously, normally I work on a Sunday evening, but I finished early today, so jumped in. So who knows? Maybe there'll be another time this season. Who knows? But it's been a pleasure, everyone, and enjoy the season.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for coming in, Josh. Really appreciate you helping me out this week. We've pretty much had everything. We've had safety cars, 3 virtuals and 1 proper. We've had crashes, we've had incidents, controversy, frustrated drivers, and then an overall victory for a UK Dark Predator, or SF Pred, or whatever he wants to be called these days. But he takes victory, I believe, for the first time this season. I'm just going to double check. Yes, it is the first time this season, and it was a pretty good one to take victory at. But for now, that's us over and done with. We will probably see you on Wednesday for the extra show. I don't think we've got anything planned before that. But a pleasure being here, and we'll catch you guys later.